pay 100% of the healthcare, and we're gonna take out 25%, which some of you, discussed with us and asked if we could do that. So we are gonna do that. Repairs to the buildings have been reduced. 50% of all departments reduction in professional services. And what that entails, that's some things like pest control, other services that we may need. We're cutting that by half in each department. We're gonna reduce helping the donation to our library. So each month, we make a contribution of $865 to our library. We're gonna have to cut that out now. No educational training, which means none of our staff, we're not gonna be able to go to any kind of training that's required. As myself, I'm required to have 3 to 6 hours to continue to be able to do the things that I do. Nivea has clerk court stuff that she has to do. Lori has payroll stuff. The officers, they have things that they have to do. So this is some of the things that we're gonna cut back.
Cut out.
We're not able to pay for the airport that was requested. Let's see, it was about a couple of, I don't remember the date that we will pay.
I know we will cut things out, but how can we cut those things out that are required? Are we required by law to do them? How can we cut that out? I mean, you got to be.
Where are we gonna get the money from? Like, we have to cut it from somewhere, so.
I'm just saying,
The
I
employees-
don't want you to get in trouble for not having the hours you need.
We don't know what else to do, but the employees are gonna take the hit for it. So the employees won't go to school, our buildings, if our buildings need something, we just won't do it.
Did you finish?
So those were some of the things that we took off and we're reducing in order to, help shape this budget. We have worked on this since yesterday. After we left, we spent many hours. We were here at 7 o'clock this morning working and diligently trying to appease the citizens of this community, as we're concerned just as well. But what you have to understand is that we're doing every effort and the numbers are accurate. We have had the numbers looked at today, yesterday, by several different ones, different people, that are qualified as myself and Miss Carolyn and Nivea, and they're just there. We can't cut anything else off, and I'm sorry to have to tell you that. But it is what it is, and the numbers don't lie, and we have to go forward, citizens. And we cannot stay where we're at, because the city, everything has changed. COVID impacted the world. It was a pandemic, worldwide pandemic that caused $14 trillion across the nation. And it just trickled down, and it's affected every single one of us. And inflation has it's just rose, and it's just really bad, but everything is going up. Our insurance, it went up 9%. So that's a huge thing that affected us. And, we were paying 100%, but now we're gonna cut it back to take that off. So that's gonna be about $27.93 per paycheck for each employee that it's gonna come off.
And I wanna say this, I wanna interject this. Us as employees this week, we took up a donation for little Nick in the, street department. He doesn't make hardly any money at all. His son has muscular. Yes, no, not dystrophy, it's something worse, and he's a month old. 1 month old. He's in the hospital, he's only seen his baby 2 times. He cut the grass here today, so it wouldn't be so embarrassing to everybody. He's not even seen his child who's a month old. He makes barely any money, and he's gonna have to pay 25% of his health care now. And that's very sad, because that takes his pay down to minimum wage. We're asking him to pay 7% of it. So that, when you see us cutting, the employees pay for it. The employee pay for it. So I just wanna remind everybody that.
Sure. I have a question. The appraisal for the property was purchased out there?
We will get you a copy of that.
Okay, that was said last time.
We, millage or
Well, I'm
appraisal.
saying, you're talking about some guy cutting
True,
grass
but
out there who's
listen.
in $400,000.
You know what? We will get you the appraisal. I felt like the priority was this. If you wanted me to stop to get that,
The priority is to fix the problem.
okay, but listen, that appraisal, not gonna fix this
Oh,
problem.
yeah, but, okay. Yeah, but this,
All right, let's get this building rate.
I have a question, a couple of questions. First question is, so now that these things were cut, is there a plan for grants or anything to be received to help with offsetting?
Yes.
Okay.
Some of the things that offset the police department, Officer Snell is gonna attend the training next week that qualifies the police department to apply for grants that's through our, LGRMS, that's our, liability company. Those are some of the things, we have been working on getting the audits, which I think one of them may be compliant by this weekend. That'll make us compliant where we can apply for grants. We also got some grants that we're waiting to be released to us with the release of our audit, so we do. There's other projects that we may have to cut to, funding. I don't know if everybody saw the house out there where Peter Patel is. Well, there's future projects to run water out that way. Am I wrong or am I right?
Yes.
We don't know if that'll happen now, because we would have to fund water out that way. So building houses and expanding Reidsville, those things may be cut in the future.
Okay.
You were asking about future the other night. I wanted to address that. That was one of the future projects.
Second thing, so the 90-something% was what everyone thought they needed. Not saying that it's not needed. It has been cut, I do see that. However, I do know that there must be a way to correct everything. So is there already talks for increases for the next year? Because if there wasn't an increase for 7 years, cost of living went up. Wages did go up for other people. I'm not saying, for the city. So it was necessary to raise taxes. I'm not saying, you can't change what wasn't done back then, but you do have to have a correction. This is half of it, is the 90-something% is needed. So, do you think next year looks like 20%, 30%, or just 10%? You see what I'm saying? Just where it's gonna correct.
It should, it's kind of hard to project because that's, a little while away, but we may, even next year, it may go up a little. We just really can't tell. We have to look at everything that the previous year and this year that we're into now. We work off of the fiscal year, so we have to look at all the invoices, all the bills. We have to take all of that, expense things out and make sure, and then turn them over to our auditors and go from there.
And what's the fiscal year? What,
When is it?
when is your?
July to June.
July, okay, okay.
Okay, so I have a question. So you're saying that this year when it starts, when does the increase start? This 2023 is almost over. When is your fiscal year?
You'll see it reflected on your taxes when you get your tax bill. You probably won't feel it till the next year though.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me ask you this, about the airport. The city of Reidsville don't use that airport, do they? Why don't you cut it, get rid of it? It ain't up a dead expense.
It may be an option. It may be an option.
I guess nothing, every time I go by there, you see one of these things.
No, the airport has been useful to the county itself, to the county itself. So, we don't know.
Because every time they fly somebody out of here, it's been in a wreck or a heart attack, the livestock comes over my house all the time, and I can hear them sit down there and take off.
But they also, during the COVID times, ambulances were transporting people to our local airport, flying people to whatever airport in other states. If there was no available hospital here, I only know that because I worked at 911. We flew people out of here to other states to save their lives. And also the military uses this as a drop-off point or a stop-by point if they're flying further east than
So
here.
if y'all cut the expense and sell the airport, military can still land there, whoever buys that's gonna.
Do you do we understand long-term taxes though?
I don't know.
The state troopers have a hangar out there?
Yeah, state trooper, yeah.
And it's fixing to expand.
Don't get rid of that.
Right, the airport just got a grant for $400,000, everybody knows that, right? It just got a grant for $400,000 from FFA. That I know personally, that if we shut it down, they're not gonna be able to get that grant. I also know personally, there was a jet land 2 weeks ago at the airport, that was a $2,000 sale on fuel that they couldn't sell because we didn't have nobody out there to do it. The jet had to sit there for 2 days. So they lost $2,000. I also know that airport brings people in for that. We got investors sitting in here all day right now. We got the airports right here. We got a golf course right here. We could have people come into this town and put money into Reidsville if we work together, like Mr. Ernest said, and use the airport as our way to bring people to this town.
That was my question. Yeah. Do you have a business recruiter? Business, go out and try to find
We have
business.
we have an inactive development authority. They're active, but they're inactive. I haven't seen people come.
I guess that's it for me. I'm right now the chair of the Downtown Development Authority. We are very active. We have not met because the things that we are doing does require me. I'm out there handling, they're working, I'm doing it. You'll see the results of it. But I knew that was aimed at me, and that's fine, I'll take it. But we're doing plenty. I'm trying to help the shops from flooding down there. Took me 5 or 6 weeks to get somebody to do something on that. Just took a simple hour or two to fix it. You know, so I mean, there's things that I'm working on every day. You don't know what I'm doing. But I mean, I'm just saying that I am working on it. I care about downtown, and it's gonna look a lot better. It's gonna be cleaned up, these dilapidated buildings and stuff. It's gonna look different. And, but another thing, I'm gonna ask the question, which you said you're cutting, excuse me, you're cutting, from the budget for repairs on this building. Did y'all say that?
On buildings, period.
On this, on, okay, you said this building.
City
Any repair, future repairs on this building.
City building.
This is a city building.
Okay, that
So
would
this
answer
building
that
will be
question.
included in that.
City building.
All right, well, let me ask you this, when you paved all this parking lot back there, and you planted all these trees, and you put up the sign and all that, why did y'all pay for it?
Wasn't here before my time.
Well, let me ask you this, okay, this building is still owned by Sharon Cheney. I mean, you know, y'all send her a check every month, I know that. She hasn't paid taxes here since 2015. I know you'll have a list of under GMA, but I know the check goes to Sharon Cheney because I've already checked through it. So any repairs or anything done on this building or these grounds, she should be paying for. Plus, she should be paying her taxes since 2015 when y'all bought this building.
Did you check the contract?
I've got it all, the man sent it to me.
You got the contract?
And
And the contract says that they will take care of the repairs of the building.
It doesn't address it all, but let me tell you, the deed is in her name. This property belongs to Sharon Cheney, not GMA. I went to the deputy clerk's office, that is true, Kelly, you don't know. You can go over there and look yourself.
All right, okay, let's just settle with the, military.
I got a question, just a small, short question, and back to what the gentleman said about the airport. When he said there wasn't nobody there to fuel the plane, why? We don't have anybody in Reidsville to do that?
They got somebody
Mr.
part-time
David
now.
Hodges, Mr. David Hodges and, Bobby Smith, they worked out there almost pro bono.
It was pro
They
bono
had a flight school,
for 10 years.
and they worked there pro bono for years and years and years, and they both died in a plane crash, so our pro bono went away, and so to keep it going, we have to pay somebody to be out there.
No, you know, just call me, I know I have a few things up.
There you go. They won't application, they gotta have applications on this one.
Yeah, you gotta be qualified, they already get qualified, I got no fuel.
What's your name?
John Sapp.
Hey, why you so okay with my name? I'll be glad to go out there and get them. I'll even fly the thing in there, let me fly.
They do have somebody doing it
Get
1
some
hour a
training out
day.
there, show them how to put the hose out here.
You gotta pay for your own training.
We got a question.
I got a legitimate question. I went to that.
Go ahead, Tom.
I went to that.
Listen up.
Yes. I hate to see the employees around here in Reidsville cut the grass, out there when the water main break, they're out there 2 o'clock in the morning, I've seen it done. To cut their benefits, and I got a legitimate question about this. I don't know, how much money does the hayfield bring in a month to the city?
It's on contract.
I want to know how much it brings in to the city. That's all I'm asking. I'm looking for the welfare of these people that work in the city.
The hayfield is a contract that's paid twice per year, it's not a monthly.
I want to know the number.
You can't break it down.
Break it down.
I don't know the numbers right off. the
And I'm
top.
not trying to bicker with y'all.
No,
But I'm looking
not
out for
that.
the well-being of the city. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I don't have the number exactly to tell you a number right now.
How many acres out there? How many acres out there?
I don't know to tell you, I don't know to tell
You
you.
got multiple people making money off that hayfield. Sell the hayfield and let that go towards the benefit of these city workers. That'd be a smart thing to do. You put that money in the fund, it's gonna raise money itself. It's gonna generate money itself.
The hayfield deals directly with our wastewater treatment plant.
But you still have the wastewater treatment on the other side. The hayfield generate hay. I'm just saying.
The hayfield is there for, when they spread the wastewater, is a requirement by the EPD.
It's not all that field, it's a lot of acres out there.
Well, I will tell you that a lot of what you see out there is not actually city property. Some of that property up on the 280 side is actually owned by another gentleman.
I know who owns that
And
property.
the city leases that
I
property.
know who owns that property, but I'm gonna say this, David, President, I'm cool with you, but a lot of some of your friends, they benefit from that, they look to benefit from that. You know, I know what's going on.
We'll look into it.
Yep.
I have one more question. I think just one more. My concern is about the city employees. So being that they do have to contribute, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but being that they do have to contribute to their insurance, a raise is gonna be incorporated into their salaries though, right?
Nope.
No.
So they don't get any raise, but
Nope.
there was a new budget created. So
So you went from
That's
$19,000 a year to $17,000 a year for a little top, that's what just happened.
but that's where an issue would be, because the taxes are being raised. I understand, and I did ask the other day if it was to maintain, but you're cutting out other things and you're still not providing a service to the people who do serve the city. So, the city workers haven't had a raise in 7 years at least? Is that what y'all are saying? But what I'm saying is, but does that not apply to their salaries at all, like any of these increases that happened throughout any of these years?
There maybe would have been, that's what left, is increases.
Not really a question, I just wanted to ask you, she was saying that paying $1,500 a month for healthcare is outrageous, and that should be stopped.
That's not the tone that we got. That's not the suggestion.
With what they're making, they could get Obamacare and not pay anything.
That's what the citizens think, to let the employees pay their own health care or go to a cheaper plan.
And most of their plans are better than what y'all got.
One at a time, you can get it for $800 to $900 for everything, just the same insurance, there's no way to get
I
that.
have lupus, ma'am, I have lupus. How can you tell me that the Obamacare or any other health care is better than the one I got for my condition?
If
It's
you'll
personal for
give me
each
a
individual.
copy of your thing, and I'll run you some things.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
See, that's why we here. Good, thank you.
I will.
All right, what are we saying here, that you can actually find a better,
You can get Obamacare that has Aetna, Humana, all those, but it's based on your budget, I mean, on your pay. And so with what they're making, they're gonna get a lot of extra earned credit for that. It's gonna pay over half your premium for you.
That would be a big thing.
And it's got everything with it. You can get dental and all.
That's what I'm talking about. Right.
Yeah, you're not saying by what they're paying the full cost. I think they think they're paying the full cost. The city is a cost sharing basis there. How much did we say? Per household?
27.
15.
Yes, 1508.36.
Per person. Per person.
Yeah.
And so
Okay, now they're
paying a
paying
quarter.
95 for, that's that's coming out of their check.
Yes, that's what he said. He said, yes, sir. Not much.
How much a week? About
How many employees?
About How many employees does the city have? About 25, 26.
That's not gonna save us a lot of money if we're just losing $90.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, it is.
Yeah, can I make a suggestion? Just like this, if you put a committee together to look at ways to more efficiently provide the benefits and other, and help take care of the other expenses. Here, this may be something that can take that, $27 per week that will come out of their salary away. I mean, these actually are the people that need to be, they have less or they'll be hurt more.
We had talked about that, we had talked about that in terms of getting together with the employees and, working with them with the health market. If you got what's called, was it Ambetter? You got national, I think national that does it as well. It supplements whatever they have.
What I'm kind of suggesting is this, bring somebody in that can review that and say, okay, there are these options out there that will,
Yeah, absolutely.
will really
Absolutely.
be more efficient.
Absolutely.
So, we're talking about lessening the blow, like in the future, to prevent such a great increase, right, in the taxes and all. Wouldn't, bringing in different establishments, like different businesses or attractions into Reidsville, generate more revenue to lessen that blow?
That's the way to grow a city.
Right. And then that will offset for the city employees as well,
Again, the DDA is working, they're active.
Yeah,
They're gonna help with the industry.
Let me tell you, when I talked to let me address that. I talked to the owners of a lot of the shops, since all this has started. They actually said, you raise these taxes, we'll go to Glenville, we'll go to Claxton, we don't have to stay in Reidsville, we're not gonna pay these high taxes. So there goes all of our new businesses leaving because you're gonna raise the taxes so high here. And then, and my other thinking, I don't blame them. We should be helping them stay, giving them incentives of some kind to stay here. Don't, shop here, go there, because they are the ones that support our kids' ball teams, buy T-shirts. They're making them for them right now. They working hard to stay here. But if that's the people you need to come here as new businesses. If you raise these taxes, they're not coming. And another thing, and I love all you rolling eyes, but another thing is, whenever, if I was gonna cut something from this budget, the last place I would've went to would've been my people. They were the people that worked for me, and I would have found, I would've got them together, and just like this lady said, and this lady up here, there's in him, Mr. McCall, you can get so much better options than taking monies from their paycheck. Take a little, just say, don't take it from the people first, you got all kinds of other places you can take it from, not the people that work for you.
Maureen, are you a local business here?
That's all right.
Hold on, Maureen, Your local business here, right? Have you been visited by the downtown?
No,
And have you thought about taking your business elsewhere?
yeah,
And was it because of the tax?
yeah.
And where else was it because of? Why would you take your business elsewhere? Because you're not getting.
Because I'm not getting the local people. I have more people coming from out of town versus.
What she's saying is the money's not in Reidsville.
Right.
But see, that was my point.
She's also saying that the locals are not utilizing this, they're traveling other places.
That's what I'm saying.
And she's in downtown, am I wrong?
If you don't.
Excuse me, hold, wait a minute, hey, please, let's keep it cordial, please. One at a time, please, that's all we ask. Okay, we've been standing here trying to listen to you guys, everybody has a right to talk, I live here too, so I hear you, okay, but please, one at a time, one at a time. If not, I'm gonna ask you to step outside and we can have a talk, please, I'm asking you. I'm not gonna speak again.
Well, let me ask you this.
But he still talking.
We got
But what I was saying, okay, so what I was saying initially kind of touched on what everybody kind of brought up. But what I'm saying is, as far as development, you're talking about people wanting to leave. What about drawing people in? Then we wouldn't have such a big increase in people who want to leave. Like she said, people are coming from out of town. That's why I said what I said, to bring people from out of town. Because that's what makes sense. You're not gonna get the money from everybody in Reidsville. You have to make it attractive to surrounding counties. You know, so instead of so many Dollar Generals and nigger stores, let's get something that people actually wanna come to.
I got a question on that. Ms. Carmen, perfect one. You got any rentals available? Sue Miller has no rentals available.
I don't have any.
I've doubled the permits that's come to Reidsville since I've been here. I think people's coming to Taft County.
Well, hold up a minute now. Let me just say this. Go ahead, John Sapp.
See, it's back to what this lady said over here, so we can get business in here, but they won't come because of the taxes. I mean, ain't nothing hard we can do about that if we can't, meet them as far as their taxes to get them in. But what he said, and this lady here said, if we all work together for the city, it's be amazing what you can do. But everybody's against one another. Heck, I go out there and pump that gas for free, I don't care. I'm retired. And I get tired of driving by naked for, that's just weird.
But you see what I'm
But we
saying?
work together, just like you said, she's trying to get business in, but they won't come in because of their taxes. What can we do about that?
Okay, but
I don't.
He's next, on his own next, I'll cut him off.
I don't really think it had nothing to do with the taxes. Glenville got taxes, Lyson got taxes, all these, let me finish though. All these people got taxes, right? Glenville you go down to Glenville, there's buildings and businesses all down the highway. They're building new businesses, Chick-fil-A, and I was gonna come down there, all this other stuff. I went to the city development, course, conference. And one of the things that they asked me, and I just want to bring it to your attention, one of the things they asked us was, what did Reidsville have to offer? You see what I'm talking about? So this is what I'm talking about. What we have to do, instead of, saying we got all this negativity, why don't we come together and start generating things of places where we can actually draw people here? They're getting ready to do their Hyundai plant up there. You think they're gonna wanna come here? Or they gonna wanna go, hold up, go ahead, you talk.
I'm sorry, but no, because Tattnall County didn't approve the funding to bring people to stay here. And that wasn't a miss on Reidsville. I'm just gonna say, Tattnall County refused the Board of Education grant to keep people in this area at Hyundai. And I know that because I work there. Okay, so I know that because I work there. Tattnall County refused the Board of Education grant to keep people, to offer a class, to keep the kids here. So that didn't help us at all. And I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, Ms. Herman.
I got you.
So you saying Tattnall County like this? They refused the $500,000.
Tattnall and Bullock were the two that refused. All the other counties around here took the money. Kind of normal review.
So who won it? I don't know. So that's fine.
That lady right here wants to speak.
Why do you think
She had her hand up first, she gets to speak.
It was.
Hold on, sir, hold on. She's speaking right here.
Yeah.
How many people
Hey,
have come
hold on.
down
This
here?
is-
I've been doing.
Let this gentleman here, go ahead. If we have to point at you, we'll point at you, but I'm telling you, the next one speak out, you're going outside, and I mean it.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Come on, sir.
What we're talking about tonight is wonderful. But the problem is, we can't go from the top to the bottom. We've gotta go from the bottom to the top. We need to create a budget on everything that we're just talking about tonight. Where's your budget? Do you have a budget?
Yeah.
Okay, and it didn't roar up in 13 seconds either. It takes time. So that's what the problem is with us trying to raise the taxes through the roof just because we have an emergency. We need to create for that and we can work that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do it overnight.
Right.
That's what we're working towards.
Well,
That's true.
I'm not gonna tell you what I did for a living, however, you have got to get a budget. You have got to be able to supply it, just like this lady can bring business here. And that's what we need to do. But we're not gonna do it when we're destructing each other. And because we can't take it just like this. And that's what happened tonight. And I'm not criticizing anybody, but that's what we need to do. We can't start here. We gotta start there, and we gotta swallow a bullet.
Exactly.
And that's where it goes. And I'd ask you people, that you know what the numbers are. Put them together, let's have another meeting and what we can do. We're backing up, we're not going forward. And I'm not being a negative, I'm being positive. Thank you,
Thank you for your. Thank you, sir.
My question is, why does people wanna go to Glenville and not Reidsville? Why does businesses? I mean, how is their taxes based on our taxes? How's their building permits based on our building permits?
To let y'all know that, we often call Glenville and we often model things off of Glenville, to tell you the truth. They're similar, like they have some things before, they got some establishments before we did, so we asked them, we talked to them. I'm not saying that things won't change in that sense, it's just, there's other things that took precedence over that. The changes are gonna come, but we're inching along with those. Glenville does have some great incentives, but they have money to incentivize their people, we don't.
One thing that Glenville did was they had someone working on grants. A lot of the building improvements, the lights, street lights and whatnot came from grants.
Yeah. Yeah, it did, yeah.
So,
It took years
I'm
for them to
seeing-
get it, but they finally got it.
I'm noticing people saying that businesses are leaving because of the high taxes, right?
Mr. Burton? Yes. I remember when I first came to Reidsville. Who goes to Atlanta now and gets rent? Anybody? Years ago. I know, I'm emphasizing that. Who goes now?
We got in our cars, but it don't, we think, can I say this?
Yes, you got my
The
question.
only thing about that now is that we met with congressmen and senators the other day, and locally. But as I said earlier, you know, when you do those grants or whatever, before they release those grants, they wanna see your, what? Audit.
You don't see the, oh, yeah.
They wanna see your audits.
Well, that is my question.
We missed a $2-point-something million grant.
And that's the point I'm making. I know a lot of
State
counties
recovery
cities
grant.
got grants. Y'all used to go. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened
we
now.
did.
Y'all used to go.
We missed the state recovery grant, $2.3 million that we were supposed to get. A lot of the cities around here did get it. We missed it because our grant, you know, when you do your audit, they have to be submitted to it's a state, can't think of the terminology.
Department of Community
Yeah, be submitted there. So
By 12/31.
That's right, and if you really don't get that audit in for it to be there, you don't get it.
Don't get nothing.
You don't get nothing. And that's been a problem in the last few years, and we're trying our level best to rectify
That
that.
is our auditor's job, though,
Yeah.
to have that into DCA
Yeah.
by 12/31.
But the thing
That's
about
the
it,
auditor's job.
as I've said before, the thing about it was, it's been a hectic few months, year, finding stuff, and, a lot of the banks or whatever it is that had, records or whatever that was back here. And I don't wanna go into this tonight, cause I said I wasn't gonna say anything. But as I said earlier, in 2018, there was a lot of stuff that did not get, processed.
What year was that?
I was in 2018, yeah, and we still paying bills, we paid one just the other day that was late or whatever it is. And we're trying to play catch up to whatever it is, and so the audit was done now, the audit was done for that year. But for 2020, the year that, COVID or whatever, and there are a lot of stuff that we could not find here at this office to be able to submit to the auditing firm, to be able to, appease them so they can move forward. They told us, we're sitting here twisting our hands. Am I correct with that? They said we're wringing our hands, we're ready to go to work, but y'all got to supply us the material, and Susan, you've been clerk before, don't you have to give the auditors information? And that information.
Giving it to them on July 1.
That's right, and so some of the information that we did not have, and Faith, you know this, these girls have been out to your office, trying to get documents that we couldn't find up here, am I right?
You are correct, but all of those documents were mailed to this office, so I don't know where they went to.
Jay, we don't know either, we do not know either.
And that was from 2018.
That was 2020, 2001. But it's been,
21, 22,
yeah,
23,
So, yeah.
23, 23.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that, there was a lot of stuff that we just couldn't find. We could not find, the archives was gone. And so that has been the holdup of us trying to find out, and this is not reflecting on anybody. Please don't go out and say that I said that, on anybody. It's just that when, these girls came into play, it's a whole new team that's up here. Everybody was gone, nobody could show anybody anything where anything was. And, but we've been trying our level best to develop archives enough that when we leave, somebody can put their hands on some things. But that's the reason why the auditors were taking so long. And they were trying to work simultaneously with, the 21, 22. Am I correct with that? They're trying to work simultaneously with that, so when it gets down to that 22 audit, they can say, we're gonna move quick. But you can't, you gotta get through with the 21, so you can go to the 22. So I'm through.
I'm disabled and I'm having a hard time just standing here
Yes, ma'am.
without the chairs
Yes,
fitting.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I'm gonna leave now because I gotta go take some painkillers. But all these people, there's like 20 people standing,
Yes,
please make a bigger
Yes,
place
ma'am.
for chairs or something.
And maybe just, get some, to raise their hand or something.
I wanna say one thing, Ms. Carolyn, like you, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I think I need to explain. When our mayor, Waters passed on, God bless his soul, we loved him. Ms. Carolyn had to step in as mayor, she don't want me to tell this. And that's when we realized that everything was out of order. And we started working hard. I know, so I'll say it was out of order, and that's when we jumped in to try to correct things. We had no archives, we couldn't find anything that she just said, everything's out of whack. We had to go borrow money to make payroll, she said that to y'all the other night. We worked day and night, and if y'all come by, y'all saw my car, but she had to work and I was helping her. And then the mayor worked, then the mayor got hired, then the mayor got sick, she had to jump in again. So, it ain't been no game up here, we've been working. And we love the employees, okay? We love every employee at this city, and we treat them right. And it hurt us to have to cut stuff, but that's what we
And
had
I
to
think
do.
one of the main problems was is that when COVID kicked in, City Hall had to be closed because of COVID. Many of the water bills did not get paid. Am I correct with that?
That's right.
Water bills was something like $3,000 behind, just about it.
Or more.
Okay, and by the grace of God, I work for an agency that, do what they call the water assistance program. And we did recoup many of those dollars from, us signing, this city signing a vendor list sheet so that we could be able to receive that money to help our citizens. And I don't know, but many of our citizens here in the city of Reidsville were helped to restore water here.
We just have.
Black, white, Hispanic, a lot of folks got help to recoup that, but it blessed the city as well too. Bless the city.
Okay. Well, I got.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr.
I'll leave it alone. I'm still sitting here listening, and I think Ronnie got the best idea so far. Because what I'm saying is, anytime you put a committee together, it's the responsibility of the committee. So when you put that committee together, and don't let one person try to be the head of everything. You got to work together. You say you love this city, then you work together, like you love this city. Everybody has a lane. If you stay in your lane, you won't ever have a crash. But if you try to get in somebody else's lane, most like that's reality. You will crash. So everybody has to lead, really, but that person is one that answers to the city. But if like this young lady here, she got something she know, let her work with this young man. I'm sorry, call you young, but this man here together. That's somebody on the other end. If they want to do a little volunteer work, put it together. And then you know about your grant. There's all people talking about grant. Use them. It's money out there. Don't say it's not. It's there.
Lots of money out there.
You know, they trying to get it. If you don't use it, everybody else gonna use it.
Mm-hmm.
Get the money and use it. Another thing, beautify the city. Yeah. Beautify these buildings that you got in town that's look like they falling all apart and falling down. Yeah. Nobody wants to come in here and look like the ghetto. Get out of here. So that's why you don't get no business, because you need to fix up the city. All the owners that own these buildings, they should be responsible for fixing up their buildings. Get that thing taken care of, then it's an eyesore. So when somebody travel through, they want to see. I remember when they used to say it's friendly. At one time, it used to look beautiful.
Yeah, it did.
It used to look beautiful.
Yeah.
We had parades, we had all that. Those are another things you miss. Events. That's why Glenville do what they do, because they have a lot of events. If you start having events, that'll bring people in. That'll bring tax money in. So that's what we need to do. I'm like, Ty, you got to bring it. And when I say recruit, when I'm traveling, I'm in another county, another Augusta, or wherever, I always bring them, hey, we need y'all to come. I even tell the restaurant people, when I travel and eat different food, like, ooh, we need to be a big man. You know what? So people want to spread out. You just got to ask.
And make it so that they want to come.
I'm telling you, you come to my house for the night too if you want to, just to look around and see what you get. And have to talk to people. See what you can get. Because we do. We need that. We need to fix up these buildings for nothing, really. The roads are being taken care of. That's already in the budget for the whole United States. But the thing about it, let's get the buildings taken care of. Get these properties taken care of. You pay your taxes.
Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Coward.
Mr. Coward. I got two more things I want to mention and I'm going to hush. We're getting back to the airport at the hayfield. How come you couldn't sell the hayfield and have the water on our contract, or whoever buys it has got to sign a contract where you can still get rid of your wastewater? And y'all could use that money up here at City Hall for something that's needed instead of that. And another thing I want to know too, y'all talking about cutting the city employees' pay. Did y'all cut officers' pay?
Not the pay.
I meant cutting their wages and stuff.
No. It's hard, big part of insurance.
What I'm fixing to say, nothing personal against these two new guys over here. But y'all just lost 3 damn good boys because Claxton PD, Glenville PD, everybody around here pays more than y'all pay. And we just had 3 good boys to lose.
Back to the budget.
That's the reason y'all can't keep no help.
That's right, you're absolutely right.
Mr. Neville's knows that. That's why they give them money. Hell, I worked down there at the co-op, I made more money than he makes. And you think I'm gonna put my life on the line, like he does, regular chump change?
You absolutely right.
We agree with you, that's so hard, the budget back to the tax.
Well, something needs to be done to get these boys some money, where we can keep some help here.
We agree.
We done lost 3 good men. One just retired, and Michael just left, and Brandon left. That's 2 of the best officers we had in Reidsville in a long time, under Mr. Miller.
Well, that's what we're trying.
Something needs to be done there.
We tried, we've been trying, Doug, you know that. We've been vilified for just taking up, but we've taken the salaries up. We have.
And if these 2 guys over here does the same job, and they do just as good as this boy up here does, they need to make just as much or more, or just as much, I ain't gonna say more, but as much as he's making. All of them need to be making more money.
That's true.
And if we can
That's
pay.
why Michael Gerald left.
I know.
Because he didn't think nobody should get the salary he was getting. That's why he left.
And I'm gonna tell you, Michael Gerald was my brother. He
Well,
was
I'm
close.
Yeah.
I know Mr. Miller real well.
He's still in town, he just worked for us.
But can we get back to the village?
Okay, let's make the village straight, and we gonna dismiss.
One thing, so one, I want to say, you took up a contribution for somebody who needed some money. If we had a Reidsville page and if there was a need posted, I do think that we would have gotten some help for that gentleman.
Yeah.
And my second question was, going back to all the empty buildings, have we ever looked into like a vacancy tax or something for all these empty buildings? Because if we taxed them for being empty, that's extra income and it would generate, it would maybe push them to rent them, fix them, sell them. That was.
Ms. Dow?
Well, since you said about the buildings, I'm just a poor country girl. But I'm in the process of working on this Nelson Hotel, somebody purchased that. But when you got people in here that's greedy for $1 and don't wanna let the property go, they trade Jesus for greed. I ain't got time for that. Somebody's purchased the Nelson Hotel, trying to make it a disabled veterans home. So I'm trying to help this fella out. So I'm trying to help. I ain't got nothing, but I'm trying to help somebody to get it set. But if somebody help keep doing it, it was over there yesterday trying to clean. You know, I've been around town, but a lot of times people get these places, they ask about them, they get shut down. No, you can't, we're not selling. So it's the property owners, the one that's selling them. So if they go in there and talk to some of the property owners about trying to get all the money for themselves and let the stuff go, cause the liability for that building there, they asked for $1 million liability insurance, but guess what? The government approved them a $3 million liability insurance. So I'm just saying, it's just certain things that you don't know that's going on in this community that people don't want to help you participate with. They're looking at you like you're crazy. I am somebody, but I'm let you know what's going on in the community. And I'm just that nosy one that's gonna find out. So I'm just letting you know that you got to purchase it. So you know that you're They're not approving it for a bed and breakfast, but they're approving it for a person that may be in here with a person that can't get to the nearest hospital. You know, that could be a place where when you got these property owners that's greedy for $1 and they trying to hold and get all the money for themselves, that's a tough tennis, but the mill's still good. Did you know this? You know.
Yes, ma'am, I don't know your name.
Hey, Miss Jackson.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Jackson.
Well, I should know, Reidsville is the county seat?
Yes.
Okay, do we, like, when business come in, do we, like, approve it or disapprove it?
The only thing
I'm
that
just
they can
asking.
hear is they come get their business license. We have a chamber that does that.
The only time they would have to, the city would have to approve is if it's a beer and wine or liquor license. Okay, so if these supposed to be so many liquor stores coming up, it's been approved?
No.
Yeah, they don't, they can't open without license.
Exactly.
And that's, they have to get that from the state. So they can't do anything without license.
I want to speak to the dilapidated property. Everybody has a council member. If you have a property that you see that's on the dilapidated property list, you can speak with your council person and they will add it to the list and we will take action on it. We're doing it slowly but surely.
Or let me know.
Or debit.
Let me know.
Or do list.
I got one more question.
You should have already done it.
That's all right.
That's like Florida.
He's not all right.
Florida, the state of Florida does not pay property taxes. They got sales taxes. See, we can lower our taxes here and raise, and I know everybody's gonna get mad when I say this, but you could raise the sales tax and lower the property taxes. But let me explain this to you. I got rental trailers, and they're rented. They live in my trailers. I pay the taxes. They buy a Coca-Cola, they pay a tax. They don't pay no taxes when they live in my trailers.
Yeah, right, that's right.
If you buy a Coca-Cola, or you buy a cold beer, you gonna pay taxes. And that's the only fair tax that they are. If you buy something, you pay sales tax. Why not raise sales tax?
I can agree with him.
Sales tax, what, 8%? Raise it to 10, 12%. You know, I know it's not hurt everybody's bill, but that's the only fair tax they are in the state of Georgia.
But that would be something that would have to be on a ballot.
One mistake, Florida has big real estate taxes. They don't have small, they have big. They do not have, so they don't have income tax. That's certain.
You driving the same truck? Yeah. Okay, I'm still driving.
Well, one of the things that you just mentioned there, if you run the sales tax up in Reidsville, you'll push people out to buy stuff in other places. You will have the same effect as having a too high tax here in the city. I mean, you just push people to Glenville to buy stuff or buy that.
Well, it's Glenville would raise there.
Yeah, but we can't control that.
That's part of that, yeah.
You can't control Glenville or buy that.
I think that will.
Mr. David.
I sitting over and just listening to everybody talking about communities, talking about grants and this and that. And no offense to any council member, I love you all. We all talk every day, and I can get along with everybody in here pretty much. I work across the board with them. But the biggest difference I see in Glenville and Reidsville, there's no city manager. We need somebody in Reidsville that can pull the team together like a city manager and work on grants and work on keeping staff going and keep things the way we need to get it. We're at that point that Reidsville has grown.
You're right about that, but that's a big salary.
Reidsville has grown to the point now, we're no longer good old boys Reidsville. And if we're gonna keep growing, we gotta develop, we gotta be like the rest of the cities and have somebody that knows this, has a degree in what they're doing and running a community. I understand salary, but are you talking about spending $50,000 here and saving it here because it's gonna get you a $2 million grant because this is what he does, or they do? I understand the taxes, but we still got to look at, are you looking at spending pennies today and saving dollars tomorrow, or spending dollars today and losing hundreds of dollars?
You gotta raise something to get there.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Laura Small. Yeah, I was, working with Chris Ross, and we had brought the fish house. People come from all around. But when you bring something new and it's good, they come. They gonna come if you got something like you said that they want. I'm talking about they was coming from Hyundai, all the way down to little old region right in Wyoming.
And I be laughing. Cause they cut me off on mine. I just want to say the last one. I'll wait till it be the last one. I mean, I don't mind. Okay, now, and I think we got good points here, but when I went to the meeting, we got 3 points. Everybody, when they looking for a place to stay, they're looking for a certain thing. they're looking for something for their kids, you know what I'm saying? And they're looking for a good shopping center or a good place to eat, okay? And they're looking for a place to stay. Those are the three things. Those are the three things. Now, when we develop our plan, and I went to the court, and I'm just gonna say that because I never seen you come to my place. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, if you would, I would have told you some of the stuff, okay? But those are the things that we're talking about. And if we're sitting here, we're talking about the taxes and stuff like that. First of all, like Mr. McCall said, we got to generate a team that actually going to sit down and evaluate Reidsville as a whole, not just the downtown, but where are we going to grow? Most of the land on our left and our right, they're farmland. So are we going to tell the farmers, hey, look, we want your land. So now we got to come up with a plan to convince him to sell us land in order for us to grow. Glenville is growing because they buying up farmland and building stuff. And we behind the power curve because when we talk to all these people in Waycross and Doug was there, we talked to all these people in all these other counties, they had a plan. They had a plan. We don't have no plan because all we do is talk about it and we put a pin in it and we'll wait till next month and we put another pin in it and then next month we put another pin in it. But in order for people to come here, you got to have something for them to want to come here. And right now we behind that power curve because if I had a choice, and don't get me wrong, I still want to stay here. But if I had a choice, if I was coming, they were Glenville and Reidsville. How am I gonna take care of my kids? Is there more stuff in Reidsville or is there more stuff in Glenville? You see what I'm talking about? So those are the things that we need to think about when we're talking about doing things. And the last thing I'm just gonna say is that, look, we can sit here all day. And we can diverse between this and that all day. We're behind the power curve, no matter what we say. We behind the power curve. In order for us to grow, like you say, we need to bite the bullet. Let's move on. Come up with a plan to let's start generating things for us to do, things for us to see, things for us to have. We just got to just go forward. Committed.
I would say this, I agree with what you're saying. I totally agree. And I agree with having committees and having people from the community participate. But those committees are gonna come from the leadership. So it's gonna take the leadership of the council working together as a team to develop those committees in order for it to work. Because you're elected.
I think you put together a darn good, Mr. Armstrong.
Ma'am?
Well, we did, we
put together a darn good committee and sent you all off for training.
And we had, with GMA, and maybe we're gonna see this, we communicated, talk with, we come up with, I can't remember what all we done, it was talking about the high point